Boy, I sure love to hear that growl. Thank you guys for joining us today for the next episode of the Three Bears podcast. With me, as always, are the boys, Parker and Peyton. And we just kind of want to come to you and talk about the things that are going on in our world and how we might be able to help you in yours. And we're just looking forward to a great episode today. We had to do some planning to get this meeting together between all three of us with our busy schedules, which kind of brings me the idea of what today's episode is going to be about. And the Three Bears this episode are taking on the church calendar and organization in general. And I am very thankful that I have got an incredible wife who's great at organizing, who passed that down to these guys. And they've got some great advice for me because my world is fixing to get very, very busy with teaching full time, with coaching full time at the high school level, and all those other things that go on top of the ministry with all that. So I'm looking forward to this episode being a big help to me, and hopefully it'll be to our listeners that come on board with us. But as always, we want to catch up with the Three Bears and see what's been going on in everybody's world. So, Parker, what's been going on in your world? I know you got something coming up big in the next couple days.
So we're doing a men's night of worship. So I mean, part of that was planning everything as far as the set list and getting musicians and getting in touch with our financial advisor to, hey, have checks made out. So I've been getting prepared to do that. This men's night of worship this week, been hitting that really hard. That's been my big goal this week is get everything finalized.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of explain how I do organization once we actually get into it. But I mean, yeah, that's really what's been going on in my week. We're kind of jumping around as far as staff, as like it's just announced we're going to be searching for a new youth leader, a youth minister.
By listing, there's a job opening in Pineville.
And
So,
so, we're looking for a new youth minister. And so having some meetings with some young men, just getting to know them, some preliminary stuff, you know, So just getting to know everyone, been doing that. Kind of doing some media stuff, getting ready for the new school year, getting my youth stuff in order. So that's kind of new is organizing youth. Because me and another guy in our life group, we're going to be taking over the youth in the interim. So
well,
that's what's been going on. Just been busy, working
right,
40 hours in the office.
right before we did our last podcast, we did the church camp episode, and you went to church camp. How was your experience at Tall Timbers? Right.
Tall Timbers. I went to kids camp. It was so, 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 so fun. I always joke with our kids minister that, if I'm the one doing kids, we're in trouble. Um, but no, it was really fun. I enjoyed hanging out with that age group. I was really like in my mind expecting more of like not like pre-K to like second graders, like that not that whiny age, but like where they're, I don't know. I've not been around kids, but like those younger kids where, they're kind of hard to control and you
Mhm.
can't really mess with them. They're still but so I had two fourth grade boys and one fifth grade boy. So they were ecstatic and they were fun. They were funny and they were fun to be around. And they wanted to get in the pool and they were like, "Can you not get on your shoulders and chicken fight?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So they were having fun and they found my cheese ball stash and they went to town. They went ham on it. But no, it was fun. I really got to enjoy. It was nice taking a break from having so much leadership in the camp, just to be able to go to camp and enjoy camp.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you learn any new phrases with that age group?
no, thankfully. I heard chicken jockey too many times. I heard one mildly inappropriate comment
Oh boy.
from a kid. Can I say that one? Can I say it? Like,
I don't
do y'all
know what
remember
it
the one I'm
is.
talking about?
We
It
can
was
find
like
out if we need to.
No, never mind. It was some little kid was like free P Diddy. There's nothing illegal
Oh
about
my
having too
gosh.
much baby oil. And I
Oh
was
boy.
like, we're in line for dinner, and I was like, I wanted to be like, who's your leader? Like,
Was
who are you
that one of
with?
your kids?
No, it wasn't one of my kids.
Okay.
No.
Okay, good.
Uh-uh.
I don't know many fourth and fifth graders who even know anything about that guy. So,
So this camp was for like third or second grade through sixth grade.
no, okay. Nice.
So it was probably one of the young kids, but I was. I was mortified to be anywhere near that being said.
All right, Peyton, what about you, man? In your world, man, what's been happening in the cornfields of Hamburg, Arkansas?
So 3 weeks ago we went to church camp. I didn't really talk about that. We had a great week. We had 7 kids get saved, a couple of dedications, and it was just great for our students. We had a really great time. They enjoyed it too. And the week after that, worked in the office for a little bit, and then I went to Taylor, and me and my father-in-law, we were going to set up our deer stands and everything. Well, we started driving around, and we couldn't find out we have a big hog problem. So gonna have to take care of that if we bush hog it all and get all that done. So eliminate some of those guys. And then last week, I worked in the office for a little bit and then went down to Lafayette, Louisiana and
Yep.
took care of the house for mom and dad while they were gone. I preached there on Sunday and it was really great. And, but for all of that stuff, we've been planning for 2025, 2026 for all of my students and getting back to the swing of things. Last week, took them to Top Golf, about 32 people. And we were on our way there. Our bus breaks down.
Oh no.
Shady Grove luckily helps us. We get a van. We continue going to Top Golf and they had a great time. It was awesome. And then tonight we have a pancake bar that we're doing with our students. We're continuing our study through Joseph. And then next week I made an escape room for our students where it's clues and different things like that they're gonna have to solve. And then we'll also finish our Joseph study and then getting right into the school year because here in Hamburg is their year-round school. So that kind of goes into we'll talk about planning here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But my wife, for example, she starts this week. Like her first day is tomorrow, Thursday,
Oh, wow.
at Hampton student teaching. So she gets hard and heavy with her students tomorrow. So that's kind of what's been going on in my life, just staying busy and
Yeah. Yeah,
going
man.
through the summer.
That's it's some we've always talked about how sometimes the summer we're glad when school starts because it actually slows things down for us a little bit. We go during the summer months for sure. So yeah, we were at Bog Springs as well. I got to preach the Wednesday night service. Had a good time with that. Got to visit and fellowship. It was just a great time. Uh, your mom and I went away for a trip to Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Never been there before, but we will definitely be going back. Just we rested. We just kind of disconnected and relaxed. We had a great Airbnb. We wound up renting a Polaris, big, I mean, heavy duty
Side by side.
side by side. Well, it was like it was just
ATV.
fast. It was in a big ATV, and man, we went up some trails. I love your mother, but she is not a good navigator because we turned on this road and I look and I'm like, we should not be here. She said, no, it's on the map. Well, we get halfway up where we should not have been, going like at a 45-degree angle and big giant ruts, and I'm scared to death. If we didn't have that slide plate on it, we would have high centered so many times. Finally made it, and she looks and she's like, "Oh, we're not. This is not on the map. We're off the map." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" So I had to turn around and go back down what we had just gone up, and going down is sometimes just worse than going up. And we basically slid down that thing. It was bad, but we had a great time. We hit some pretty big mud holes, and water went everywhere, and got it on film. So we had a lot of good times. But we had to do that weekend and that time because the schedule window is getting smaller and smaller. We're starting football really quick. We've already been in the weight room all summer, and that kind of brings you to this reason for the episode is we planned out at ABC. We planned out January to July. We didn't really plan out August to December because we have a lot of things that are going on. I know one of the big things our attention is going towards is our organization service on the 13th. So we're kind of hard and heavy right now organizing that day with all the different things, all the logistics that are involved. And so it kind of gave me the idea with school beginning, with me being a full-time school teacher this year and a full-time head coach for the first time, taking a larger role with my healed Achilles with football, I believe. And I'm going to need a lot bit more help with organizing. And I know you guys are really great at that and probably have some great advice for others as well. So when it comes to organization in general, I'm kind of curious your fellas' thoughts on how important organization is. And we start with Parker, so let's start with Peyton. And just organization in general. Why do you think it's important that you organize things out? Uh,
Um, so with that, I've learned pretty early from my mom, like you've already said, Dad, that organizing stuff is very important. Since I was a little kid, I've always been asking, well, what are we doing this day? What are we doing this day? And I was always kind of like that with my mindset whenever I was a kid. But now that I'm on staff here at a church, you really have to take a philosophy of I'm looking forward to this, but also I can't disregard on what's happening right now. And whenever it comes to organization, throughout going to college and these different things, I was working and coaching, and you have all these different things going on. I had to stay very, very organized because I don't want to double book myself somewhere
yeah,
or stretch myself so thin. I remember back whenever I was in college. I mean, I'm very organized. I do a Google Calendar that's all color coordinated. That it's different events and schedules and plans and what I'm preaching on and all these different things. But there'd be times where my entire calendar was full for one day because of stuff I had going on.
yeah.
So organization is very, very good, but it could also be very, very costly.
Mhm.
So my philosophy whenever it comes to organization is am I just trying to place an event somewhere, or am I actually thinking that this is what we need to do? Is this actually going to work because of the logistics and the analytics? And I think whenever you organize, you've taken a lot of data almost.
Mhm.
Where, for example, for youth ministry, I did a lot of events last year, but some of it was good, some of it was not good. So
Yeah.
you take analytics of this worked this weekend because there's nothing else going on.
Mhm.
This worked because there was nothing else to go there. Oh, you're placing this on opening day of hunting season. Well, that ain't gonna
Right.
work.
Yeah.
So there's so many different things you have to take into account for whenever you organize. And a lot of people who I go to seminary with, they think I'm nuts that sometimes I plan things out a year, 6 months in advance, whatever it even comes to preaching. Um, but it just takes a lot of planning, a lot of sitting down, a lot of praying, and a whole lot of meditation and thinking on
Yeah.
is this actually going to work?
You
So
know, you mentioned the preaching. That's the one area of organizing and scheduling that I do have a lot of history with, and we'll hit on that maybe in another episode when we talk about preaching in general. But yeah, I've been scheduled out on my preaching for over a year at a time before, and I had one preacher friend of mine that was 3 years out on his preaching calendar, which is pretty impressive. And but yeah, there's a lot of good things when it comes to that. Parker, what are your thoughts on organizing in general, just organization in general?
Well, I think it's important to have a to-do list, even if you're writing the same things down every single week. Like, I mean, we have reoccurring things that I do here. I mean, one is plan out the service, send out our What's Up Wednesday. That's our weekly like newsletter type thing, and then bulletin. Those are three reoccurring things. And of course, I write out the different things in those steps. Like for planning music, part of that is getting the tracks together, making sure my musicians are good,
Mm,
doing the lyrics and the lighting for that Sunday morning, changing up the lighting, if I want to, or just keep it kind of neutral, whatever. So, I mean, I'm writing out every single thing, and I think having a to-do list not on your phone is important because as soon as you open your phone and then go find the Notes app, you've done seen three notifications
that's
pop up
true.
on your phone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I keep two different legal pads. I mean, I keep one for my to-do lists, and then I keep one for big event planning. Um, and that's just a tip that I got from actually Kyle, one of the people at the last church I was at. He kind of kept something like this of like what he had to do this week, and so he did that. And of course, sometimes I'm just writing the same things every week, and a lot of random things come up that I don't have to write down. I just go do. But I think having a list of what you have to do is very important.
That's really good. Big shout out to Kyle Webb. We'll make sure we tag him in this episode because we like Kyle. Great dude, and we hope him all the best and where he's serving the Lord right now. But that's a great tip. So, daily to-do list. My head coach does the same thing. He has he's big on the reminder app on his phone. But I see what you're talking about because yeah, we see text or notification or oh my goodness, Ozzy Osbourne died, and we go down a
yeah,
rabbit hole sometimes, and we can get sidetracked and things like that. So yeah, those great tips. So on that same kind of thought there. while we were kind of preparing for this episode, you showed us two of your organization tips, the daily to-do list, and you have your big event planning. Peyton, you were showing us some calendars that you have right there on your desk without even really knowing that's what we were going to talk about this episode. Why don't you kind of walk everybody through those really quick, just kind of the different types of calendars that you keep an
Yeah.
eye on as you're organizing for the year?
So on my desk behind my computer here, I have my big desk calendar that's got all of our events. But this is what we sit down as a staff and we do. It's funny, my first week last year, whenever I got here to Promised Land, I had to plan out my calendar for 2024, 2025. So,
Mhm.
but luckily they had one of these, which has literally every single event that we have done every year. Like see you at the pole, Harvest Sunday, feeding the football players for, and so we have all these, and that's just our monthly dates that we do for them, and you just plug it in. But also, I have our high school football schedule. I have our JV football schedule, eighth grade, even Pee Wee. I have all of their calendars because I want to try to make as many events or games that I can. And I don't want to place an event on the night that I know that my football players won't be able to be there. But also in the fall, we also have tennis. But then whenever you get into October, basketball starts. So I burn all these calendars out and I have them in a folder and I look at them and I say, okay, well, this is a Wednesday night and half my students have a game because they scheduled a game on a Wednesday. Well, I know that we need to maybe cook a little bit less. So I can tell Brother Paul, our administrator, this is our school calendar. They have the year round 2025, 2026 calendar. And our kids, they get out pretty much 1 week every month for an entire week. So you have to really plan it around as, for example, I take a big discipleship trip in the spring. We went to Dallas this past year. Well, I know that they have 2 full weeks of their spring break. Well, I'm going to put it at that first little part, and these are the dates that I selected a year out because we take it in March. So I need to make sure that I have the school calendar. And then these are, of course, like Parker said, this reminds me of Jeff Llewellyn, um, my yellow pages, my little yellow notepad. And this is every single midweek Sunday night for 2025, 2026 from August all the way till next July. And I plan out whenever we have midweek, if I have a guest speaker coming in, our youth revival that we're going to do whenever Parker comes to play for us. If whatever game I want to do, a Friendsgiving, things like that. So I have those. I have this, which is our monthly events. So, for example, our deacons meeting, business meeting, and all of those, and those are monthly reoccurring things. So we place those on a calendar. Well, if we have a fifth Sunday, but it's also supposed to be a deacons meeting, well, we'll cancel the fifth Sunday singing because we have exists, and we'll just talk about our schedule. And this is our big boy. This is our all of the events and everything for 2025, 2026. So just looking at a bunch of different things, but on top of all this, I have my school calendar that I have in my phone on Google Calendar, where I have this class, this assignment due, I have this to-do list, all of this different stuff, and that's all on my phone. So a lot of different calendars, a lot of different things I'm looking at, but it helps me stay organized. It's organized chaos.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
I think something
It
that's
makes sense to you. Yeah.
yeah, I think
Yes.
something that's good. Like we have I mean, I've got calendar on my desk. I've got a 6 month calendar on my desk as well. I have an event like list of everything that I have planned. I think a lot of the churches that you see are organized have a lot of these. It seems like it's a lot of paper, but it's like it's good because it's like you have organization available to you of like, hey, if you need to know something, you don't have to go far to look for it because you have it.
Yeah.
So,
You guys both work on staffs. You have other people on the staff with you, and you have sorry about the dog barking there. Um, she's getting, hey, stop. Um, you guys both work on staff, so with things like Google Calendar, you're able to share that with the staff all at one time, and that's able to help kind of keep things more organized in a good way. So those are all really, really great thoughts, and we kind of both mentioned um, several different types of events, and we don't want to make today's episode super long, so let's kind of move ahead and jump into the very events. Give maybe our listeners some ideas for what they can kind of schedule out for a year. You mentioned See You at the Pole, which I believe is every September. There's
Yep.
some things that are naturally built into a calendar that
Mhm.
churches already automatically are going to take advantage of when it comes to Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, those
Mhm.
three big holidays. But even around those holidays, you have other unique things that you are able to kind of plug in and add to. We also are big here at ABC in Lafayette on the annual event, the annual things we do annually. We know that every April or May we're going to do a crawfish boil. Every sometime in the fall, we're going to add this year, we're going to add either a barbecue or a fish fry, a shrimp boil, something like that. We have around Thanksgiving, it's
Families.
always going to be fellowship. And the last Sunday of November, we do an annual hanging of the greens where we throw the Christmas music on. Everybody comes in, we get the Christmas boxes down, and we transform the church into the Christmas decor and things like that. But let's just do this. Let's kind of start in January and move through a year's worth of calendar, just really quick, throwing out some various events that we do with either youth or the church as a whole or whatever it might be. So in January, we can start New Year's. I'm not saying we go every day by day by day, but what are some things that you
Mhm.
might plan for if somebody's, January is kind of a dead month for us. Do we do anything? What are some things you guys have scheduled in the past, or is maybe even on your schedules for January?
Um, Parker, let's just go back and forth and we'll just keep going.
I don't. So we start planning next year, like beginning of next. So we just planned July through December. We'll start planning January through, well, we're actually going to skip January, but we're going to start February through July next month and August.
Yeah.
We kind of work off
I could
this
run
6 month
through.
calendar with the church. Yeah, because I mean, I
That's
also didn't get to
familiar.
plan much.
Where'd you get that calendar from?
I've got it from an amazing designer.
That literally is the same design and everything. That's
It's just different colors. Just
uh-huh.
different colors. That's
You
all it
use it
is.
together as well. Look at there. That's
Yeah.
for everybody that doesn't know that's watching. That's our calendar, our 6 month calendar at ABC that we used. And I let Parker have the template on Canva. Which, by the way, a little sidebar here. We're all in the same building the kingdom together. Not just all of us here, but you
Hmm.
guys that are listening. If you have great things to share, man, share those things out there. If you have a Canva link
Hmm.
and you're willing to let people share that, that's a great thing that helps. Time is so important and precious, and creating things is one of the most difficult things we have to deal with. So yeah, that's just a little sidebar for everybody. Peyton, do you
Hmm.
guys do anything in January?
Yeah, I could run through January through July real quick if you want me to.
Well,
I
I
just
mean,
run through
I've
it
got
pretty
stuff
fast.
once we get there because I did the beginning of
Okay.
this year.
All right. So I'll just start off in January. And Parker, you just told me whenever you have stuff. So January,
Hmm.
we always do a back to school. Like whenever school starts back, because I think January 1st this year is a Wednesday. So we will not have youth or we'll not have church on that first. So I believe it's the 7th or 8th of 2026. We'll start youth back. And because we start Awana. So Awana's on a program of a certain amount of weeks. We always do a wild game supper in January.
Okay.
It's usually the last Sunday night in January. We always do a wild game supper. Last year, I started something. We did a senior Sates dinner where all of our people, I believe I did 65 plus, got to come and the youth fed them dinner. So we're going to start turning that to an annual event every year.
You
But every
you
single
served them dinner.
Saturday,
You served them.
yes,
You didn't
yes.
like put it on the fork and feed them. You served them.
Yeah, we
So
just serve it
yeah,
to them.
that
Um,
just making
every
sure.
Saturday, every Saturday in January, we do crossover. So we know
Oh, you
that
are big
Saturday
in that. Yeah.
mornings
Yeah, we have
are it's
Upward.
crossover. Yeah.
Hmm.
February, for youth, for example, I always do relationships. I got that from my dad. They always did families first in February. And I started taking that with youth and I do a relationship
Hmm.
study throughout February. We always do a crossover celebration where this is like our big final event for crossover games. And then we also used to do a February revival. Um, and we're either still doing that. We really don't know if we're moving that to more like a conference almost, or just keeping the same February revival. Whenever we get to March, we get into spring break. So for our youth, we take our huge discipleship trip
Hmm.
this year. We are going to Branson and Eureka Springs. to the Passion Play, to Silver Dollar City, all of that. So we also take up the Lord's Supper, and we always have a fifth Sunday singing. So Parker, you have something for March?
Yeah, so I'm in charge of our senior adults. Something that I did is we're close enough to Avery Island. We took, I'm gonna try and plan at least a spring trip, at least once a year, a spring and a fall trip. The fall trip kind of fell through. I couldn't get on, it's supposed to be in October, couldn't get on the books to do the Hot Balloon Festival in Natchez. Couldn't get couldn't get that organized in time. Didn't realize how early you had to do it, so I'll remember that for next year. But in March, I took them to like senior adults. I'm gonna try and attempt to take them somewhere like a day trip. This past year, we went to Prejean's. I'm trying to look at my other calendar. We do end of upward is end of Mar is the first week of March. So that's what I've got. You go.
Also in March, for example, this year, this is every Sunday night, once a month. I do a Sunday night game night where we play pickleball, 3-on-3, volleyball, different things like that. So now into April, we always do an Easter egg hunt. We do an Easter holiday. We always go to AYC. So AYC is usually in there in
Mhm.
April. And we do our Awana closing. I'm trying to think. Oh, last year we did this during March. I mean, April. I'm sorry. We did Church at the Park where we did adults versus kids softball. And we're going to start doing that as a yearly event. And so that's what we have for April.
Yeah.
I've got April. We do so our area is so saturated with a lot of big churches, and a lot of them are going to do a Good Friday service.
Yeah.
So what I've decided to do is we're going to do a Thursday night of worship. That's the day that's called is Maundy Thursday, but we don't want to do the whole Jewish meal thing. Let's recreate the Passover meal. Doesn't, but whatever. So we're actually doing a Thursday night of worship. Those weeks, during the Holy Week, we call it our Holy Week night of worship.
That's
Just
cool.
put that out in the area and say, hey, whoever wants to come. April, kids are also sometimes doing a fun trip during their spring break. The youth will take a fun trip to this year they went to Galveston. I think, well, they might have been June, but this last 3 months have like run together because
Yeah.
it's just been like go, 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 go.
Right.
And then I do every other month. So that would have been April. We do a senior adult Dutch lunch, and it's like, hey, let's load up in the vans. We're gonna go hit up. Hey, you're on your own time. I like whenever Brother Kevin doesn't go with us because he'll pay for my meal. But if he comes, he'll pay for his. And I was just like, it's whatever. No, I love doing it. I love the senior adults, and so we'll load up in a van. Hey, let's go eat at, Pop's place or Southern Creations or, a one-off place where, it's good food. And so that's another thing we do. That was in April. Um, the rest of my stuff is kind of July to no December.
Well, May is obviously going to include graduation things, include
Yes.
graduation Sundays, maybe promotion Sundays for the next, or that may be later on in the summer for y'all. But
hmm
I know that's something we always do when we have graduates. We have graduate Sunday, end of the year gathering for the youth, like a finishing school, kind of start the summer kind of thing. We
Swim
did the
party.
whole we did Top Golf and pizza with our kids. We're doing a back to school swim party here in a couple of weeks with our kids. We've got a lot of things going on, but what I'm hearing is we have a lot of activities that we schedule for kids. We have to start understanding, I think, as churches in general, that the young adults and even the 40 somethings are and early 50 somethings are that generation of kid that grew up in very busy youth groups.
Yeah.
So sometimes they think, right or wrong, that if the church isn't always going and doing something that, it's not as exciting or engaging for them. So we have become more involved with scheduling activities for our young adults. We've tried and scheduled towards the family and towards all age groups in our work and in our church rather. I know y'all do some of the same things. But I know that that's something that I think churches would do well to consider the entire family unit or different age groups for them to connect. I know we do that sometimes through small groups, through Sunday school classes, various ways, but it's something that, as far as activity planning, it's always a good thing to include something for the individual age groups themselves. Even, providing a date night where the church comes together and watches the children so mom and dad can go and
Hmm.
have a date together, or things like that. There are marriage retreats that are offered. The ABA has several that are throughout the year in Branson, in Texas, over in down in Folsom, Alabama, Foley, Alabama, and a lot of great options there for marriage retreats and things like that. There are some ladies retreats. I would love to uh, schedule something for preachers to come together and be encouraged. But so those are all great ideas that you guys have thrown out for folks that I think are really good things to plan and to schedule. I do kind of agree. I kind of like the idea of January being a little bit more low key after the
Hmm.
busyness of December, the holidays, Thanksgiving and December. I know that I mean, we've got 4 or 5 gatherings that we've got to get to. We've got all of our group. We've got, the Wilkes side. We've got the Abear side. Now we have the McDowell side, and we have Bailey's side of everything to also include in all those different activities for y'all. That makes gathering together as a family difficult and hard, but it's a sacrifice to get together. So
Yeah.
when you take January off or keep it kind of low key, you're able to do that. Again, I like to base things around holidays. We have
Hmm.
Valentine's Day there's a lot of different activities you can do. We always did one of our big fundraisers at White Rock, and I think they still do it, is the Valentine's spaghetti dinner, where the children serve the kids with that as a cake auction. It always raised funds to help send kids to church camp. And that's a time where you can do your family focus in February. When it comes to March, around here, March, late February, March, early April, all of those times could throw Mardi Gras into it. So, which, we're not big supporters and engaging with that down here, but there's so many different activities, and get on the road can be difficult even. So we don't schedule too much. That's when we're going to do our crawfish boil annually. Usually it's going to be March, April, or May in that time. Then around Thanksgiving, I mean around Easter, we have our children's activities. Our sunrise service is a big thing. Do you guys do sunrise services at y'all's churches? Promise
Oh,
didn't do one. Trinity didn't do one. But we're the
praise
only
God.
ones that love Jesus enough to get up in the morning and watch the sunrise. And but it's a really special service for us. This year, something else we did before it got too warm, we did an outside church service where we actually had services outside. Man, it was really well attended. And after that outside service, we had scheduled a jambalaya picnic on the parking lot, and that was a lot of fun, a lot of fellowship. It was just different. Churches are kind of going to doing things like church in the park on a Sunday morning. I've got no problem with the church that does that. For me, the reason we did church in the parking lot was because we were still at the location. I would hate for us to schedule a church in the park on a Sunday morning at our normal worship time, and that's the Sunday that somebody decided to come visit our church and nobody's there that morning. That would kill me. You say, well, we advertised and we shared. The thing is, not everybody's going to see those advertisements. They've just
Hmm.
put in their mind, we're going to go to that church at the end of the road on that Sunday. And if we're not there, that could be. I would just hate that feeling. I'm not saying that
Hmm.
somebody's eternity hangs in the balance, but it could. And
Hmm.
so that's why we chose to do it at the church. And we don't have a lot of space, but we have other parking we could use. Then, of course, I mentioned May. We have our in the summer activities, our graduate Sundays. We buy our kids a Bible that are graduating and things like that. So the summer grind, man, I mean, with summer, I know we all have vacation Bible schools that are planned. Yeah. Vacation Bible schools that are planned. A lot of churches have revivals in the summer, church camps that are going on in the summer months. Real quick, let's hit August to October because Thanksgiving, December, we've already mentioned some of those things. What do you have August, September, October there in the fall, guys? Some before we get to final thoughts. What do you think?
We do promotion Sunday, our midweek start back up. Then we do a members lunch in August. Anybody who's joined over the past year, we've got like a year and a half to catch up on people, so this could be a big one. We just did a big brunch, because we do church first and then Sunday school second. So we just kind of said, hey, bring breakfast foods and let's get together as a church.
Nice.
Got men's and women's retreats in September, another Dutch lunch. We do neighborhood parties instead of a fall fest. We send people into their neighborhoods, equip them with like invite cards, say, hey, go enjoy with your life groups these people. Our big OCC packing party, we're gonna try and attempt to pack 700 or 800 boxes this year.
It's Operation Christmas Child that
Yeah.
oh yeah. That was
hmm
really cool. I saw your video and pictures of that. It was a really great video you did.
We got YEC Youth Evangelism Conference, and then we're doing a big kids Christmas event. We have our annual business meeting, one or two a year. So nice. And then we do a big Christmas Sunday pancakes with the pastors and candlelight service, or
Nice.
pancakes with the staff, because Crystal is not called a pastor. She's our kids ministry director. We
Nice.
love her.
Kid
She's
mentoring.
awesome.
Big shout out to
hmm
Crystal Awesome this episode. All right, Pay. What do you guys do at Promised Land in the cornfield? What you guys do?
In August, we usually, golly, people just think we're like literally, well, yes, we are in a cornfield, but um,
You need
we
to call
always
your
do,
kids group Children of the Corn.
no. Um, in August, we always have our fall revival. And so we do our fall revival this year. We have Roger Copeland coming in. He's going to do our revival. And we always have our homecoming. And our homecoming, we don't have Sunday school that morning. We have a singing group come in. They sing. We have service. And we don't have night service that night. So we also restart our Awanas and our youth. We'll do that throughout the entire month of August. Then September's. Through September, we're actually changing our Sunday mornings. For example, we're doing a flip flop service. We're going church, then Sunday school. We're doing
Nice.
that on the 7th this year. On the 14th, we have a family day. So, for example, we're going to feed, breakfast and donuts that morning. We always do a men's fellowship in September. We always do a see you at the pole. So, for example, we wake up early that morning, we make a whole bunch of sausage biscuits, and we bring it up to the school and let kids gather around. And it's completely student led. But we're actually doing a saw you at the pole this year, where people are going to come in. I'm going to have a speaker. We always also start our fifth quarters, which is, if you know what a fifth quarters is, after the football games, the kids come to Promised Land. And but this year, for the homecoming game, us and all of the local churches, I thought it'd be a cool idea to do one at the park for the entire community. So we're doing a huge fifth quarter at the park this year after the football game. And then some stuff we do in October. We do this year, we're doing a student revival. And we also do Fields of Faith. So we go to Monticello to their Fields of Faith. We always do that at our fall festival. And then something I'm doing October, November, and December, which I don't know if we're going to cover those. October, November, December, one Wednesday night is I'm going to get up a whole bunch of fire pits, and our kids are going to go outside. We're going to do our midweek stuff completely outside. But I know preaching wise in October, I always do scare stranger stories. Our kids love it. They still talk about what we did last year. So we're bringing those back. I don't know what I'm going to do it on quite yet. I kind of know, but because I can't preach on Judges 19, go read that if you've never read it. It's nuts, an insane story. You can't really teach that to students.
Remember when
Um,
you stabbed to the hilt and the dirt came out?
that's the cut the woman up in 12 different pieces.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so anyways,
Watch.
but I don't know.
It's got to be
12 disciples, man.
I guess
that is eisegesis, not exegesis.
yeah. But for example, like there's other events we do throughout the fall. Like we do a camo Sunday, always opening week of deer season. Everybody wears camo onto church,
Yeah.
and we do that. So that's kind of the
Right.
stuff that we do. But in response to all this, kind of, y'all have anything else?
I was gonna wrap it up here. Go ahead, Pat. What do you
What
got?
you got? What you got? Go ahead. Y'all's
If you're
August
not,
to
if you're not,
November.
oh, you
What you
go
got,
ahead.
Parker?
You do your August.
I no, I've already done all that.
Oh, you were gonna wrap it up.
I'm ready to
Uh,
wrap it up. Yeah.
in short, if you're not organized, get organized. It makes
Get
life
organized.
it makes life a whole lot easier. A professor I had in college, one of my technical directors, that taught me how to technical direct newscast. One of the big things that's like a pretty common thing among this world of like tech is a plan without pre-planning is a plan that's 50% ready to fail.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're with organization comes planning. Maybe we can talk about that at another time. But like if you have an event, plan it, plan it, plan it. Don't throw it together at the last minute. Some of the stuff, like, hey, we're going to the FCA thing this week, the big FCA Fields of Faith. You don't really have to plan that unless you're one of the leaders. Hey, we're getting in the vans, we're going. Like that doesn't take much organizing. But if you're going to do an event, do it well and organize it and plan it.
Yeah, we'll probably do a more specific planning to the big event. We'll do an episode detailing that. Maybe next episode we'll focus on that. Another way to word what your technical director taught you is there's an old saying, failing to plan is planning to fail, and that's 100% what can happen. And I think you guys are really got a great handle on this, and really excited to share more about this in the future. Really excited. I wanted to say we're praying for all the activities that you guys have planned, and it's always good to see. You guys are also great on social media and post all those things out and let everybody know what's going on. And keeping people informed is so important, not just about an event coming up, but about what happened at that event is also a really big, very important thing. But as always, we, the Three Bears, appreciate you listening to us. We appreciate you sharing our episodes, subscribing to us, and liking what you hear. We'd love your advice, your ideas about more types of episodes you'd like to see the Three Bears take. And we hope you've enjoyed this take on organizing and the big calendar that we all have. So plan daily, plan weekly, plan monthly, plan seasonally, plan annually. And you get all those things together, you're on your way to a very successful, less stress-filled environment that you get to work and serve the Lord in. But as always, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening in, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.